Hello everyone, today we're going to be talking about the early season success of the Cleveland Cavaliers. If you do go on to enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you're new. That being said, let's go ahead and talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cleveland Cavaliers have been one of the most surprising, successful teams, to me at least, and to a lot of the NBA world in the early days of the NBA season. Lauri Markkanen was brought in. It was seen as a bit of a weird signing, a lot of money to someone on a team that already had Evan Mobley, that already had Jarrett Allen. And so there was thoughts then, well, is Evan Mobley going to play at small forward? And the consensus on that was that probably wasn't a great idea, as in the previous minutes he had with Chicago at the 3, it just didn't look like a great fit. Whether he was going to have the mobility to defend there, whether a team would be able to have enough perimeter creation with a guy like Lauri Markkanen at the 3 was of concern. But Cleveland have surprised with their look so far and how they have looked with Lauri Markkanen in this lineup. Evan Mobley has looked very good. Jarrett Allen has looked very good. And Cleveland have really committed to this big style of play, because even with Lauri Markkanen out for the last week or so, Dean Wade, who's a 6'9" power forward, has been playing at small forward. Cleveland have committed to this size from the 3 through 5 positions, and have committed to having one of the best interior defenses in the league. Throw that in alongside Darius Garland taking many positive steps forward this season and really showing why he can be a great core piece at the guard spot for this team moving forward. And it leads to the Cleveland Cavaliers having a fairly successful start to the year. And so let's talk a little bit more about that. Firstly, Darius Garland. Darius Garland has been absolutely brilliant so far this year, continuing to improving as a scorer, continuing to improve as a playmaker. He has been their best player of this season, in my opinion. Darius Garland has completely taken over the backcourt, the lead guard, the lead point guard, by far and away the best playmaker on the team, although Ricky Rubio would give him a shout for his money. But as far as the starting lineup goes, and between him and Sexton, most certainly. And he's leading the team in scoring as well this year at a bit over 16 points per game. Attacking the rim very well, finishing very well at the rim, some floaters, just some good finishes through contact, and shooting extremely well from deep this year, especially for his standards. Shooting 42% on a bit over 6 attempts per game, and shooting extremely well. And that development from deep is really important for him, because that's just something you're going to need in this NBA. And to be a top-end point guard, you need that level of three-point shooting, and he's really brought that to the table this season. Colin Sexton is the odd man out. We'll talk about him a little bit after, and potentially what his injury could now mean for the Cleveland Cavaliers moving forward. But let's focus a little bit more on the front court of Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen. Jarrett Allen has looked every bit worth the payday that he got this summer. He has been averaging a double-double at 14.5 and 11 a game, rebounding extremely well, being a very good rim protector, a very good rim runner, pick and rolls, finishing at the rim on lobs, offensive rebound putbacks. He's been extremely good, a full package, and the numbers back it so far this season. A very good, promising young center in the NBA, and one Cleveland will be happy to have locked up long term alongside their young rookie in Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley has been one of the top 2 rookies in the NBA so far this season, alongside Scotty Barnes. He is averaging a bit over 15 points per game and a bit over 7 rebounds, almost 8 rebounds per game. But he just looks so comfortable out on the court. He can space the floor a little bit for you, although not at a great level yet, but he definitely has upside to get there from deep and from mid-range. Can finish inside, get you some offensive rebounds, be a very good active defender as well, which I think is the most exciting part of his game, is that he has elite rim protection upside. He has ability to switch onto players on the perimeter, whether it be forwards or guards, via switches or pick and rolls, and defend them with fairly good quality, especially for a rookie big. He has very good lateral quicks, very good mobility, very good activity and length, and rim protection. He's just a complete package for a modern day NBA center on the defensive end, while having nice offensive upside. But the future's pretty darn bright for Evan Mobley. And then Lauri Markkanen, of course, was the piece that was a little bit of the odd fit. We weren't sure what was really going to happen with him on this team, whether he was going to start at the 3, whether he was going to come off the bench, and he has started at the 3 in the 8 games he has played so far this year. And while it hasn't been amazing, and I don't love him at the 3 still, you can't argue that it hasn't worked. He's averaging about 13 points per game. His 3-point shooting has definitely struggled this year, and that is the one thing he will have to pick up when he gets back from injury, but I have no doubt that Lauri Markkanen will find his shot. But in transition, he has been fairly good. His length and his ability to handle the ball has been beneficial, and he hasn't looked as terribly defensively at the 3 as I would have thought. Their length on this team is very impactful, and it makes them a team that is very hard to score on the interior against with Markkanen, Mobley, and with Jarrett Allen. Another notable piece I want to mention before we talk about Colin Sexton is not Osman, Isaac Okoro. He is now starting in the absence of Colin Sexton. And offensively, I'm still just looking for more from him. Right now, he's still just really struggling from the field, from the offensive end, from inside, from deep, wherever. He just continues to really struggle in offense. And it's only year 2. He's only played 6 games so far this year. So it's definitely not time to hit the panic button. But right now, he's just an extremely good defensive player. And full credit to him, he is a very good defensive player. He locked up Bradley Beal the other night. But he's not giving you anything on offense right now. He's 6.5 points a night in almost 27 minutes, shooting less than 15% from deep. He definitely needs to work on his offensive game for sure, and I'm sure it'll improve from where it is right now this season. But that is definitely the biggest downside to his game at this point in time. As far as guard play goes, I also need to mention that the addition of Ricky Rubio has been extremely beneficial to this team. He has played really well, giving this team the best guard depth they've had in a long time, which is especially important now with the injury of Colin Sexton. Rubio's played extremely well. The best basketball of his most recent career, probably of the last few years as far as I'm concerned. He scored well. He has shot much better from deep than he has at pretty much at any point in time in his career. Is continuing to be a fairly good defender and good playmaker as he has been throughout his career. And I would imagine is probably a pretty good veteran leader and mentor for the young guys in Garland and Sexton, but specifically Garland in how he wants to play, being a playmaker and a facilitator while still having a bit of scoring. Now we talk about Colin Sexton. Contract year, and tons of trade rumors, whether he's going to stay, whether he's going to go, whether he'll leave as a restricted free agent, whether he gets traded. Frankly, you either have to keep him or you have to trade him. I don't think you can let a guy this quality just walk. He might, but I think that would be poor management to just let someone the quality of Colin Sexton walk. Problem being is how many people actually want Colin Sexton across the league for what his value is worth because they know they have to pay him. And that just leaves Cleveland in an interesting scenario because Colin Sexton is a solid scorer who is not an elite 3-point shooter, who is a terrible playmaker as far as someone who came into the league as a point guard. He's very much more a shooting guard who is not a great playmaker. He's very much ball dominant, ball heavy. Not a great defender. And now is out injured for what could be a majority of the season. And that really leaves Cleveland in a weird spot because Sexton's value is now going to be down if he does miss a majority of the season and does not play for a good portion of the season, specifically based on how he's played this year because he has not played that well this year. Cleveland, you could argue, have been better when he has not been on the floor for portions of the season, as his efficiency has not been great. His scoring has not been anywhere near the levels it has been in the past. He's down to 16 points per game right now, which, sure, this team does have a little bit more talent, but this is the lowest average point total of Colin Sexton's career, rookie season included. And a large part of that is because his 3-point shooting just continues to decrease in terms of its efficiency, shooting under 25% from deep this year. Cleveland have struggled to score more without him in the lineup, have had lower scoring numbers, and how they continue to score and how their offense runs without him while he is out is going to be a big part in seeing what Cleveland want to do with Sexton come the end of the year, and then alongside what his value falls to depending on the length and severity of his injury. But point being is that Cleveland have just not been amazing with Colin Sexton this year. They have had multiple games where Colin Sexton is not closing the game, but rather it is Ricky Rubio, hence why they are nearly playing about the same amount of minutes per game. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with Colin Sexton. Hopefully he does recover from his injury quickly for his sake. But what happens with his injury, where his value goes from there, and what level of play he brings for the rest of the season is going to be extremely telling in what we see for Colin Sexton moving forward, whether he does get moved before the deadline, and whether he is a Cleveland Cavalier for the 2022-23 season. That being said, that is my thoughts on the Cleveland Cavaliers up to this point. A fairly good season for them so far. Fairly good start, a surprising start, and see themselves in the playoff picture in the Eastern Conference. Full credit to their young guys, Jarrett, Evan Mobley, Darius Garland, and they'll continue to put themselves into a spot where they can hopefully compete for a playoff spot at the end of the season. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to watch another one of my videos, then be sure to click the box on screen to hear my thoughts on the Minnesota Timberwolves so far this season. That being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.